daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Welcome, everybody. It is Sunday, the 31st of August, last day of summer, it feels like. But we are coming to you with a full reaction to all the weekend games, bar one, which we'll come to. My name is Ken Davis. I'm joined by the legendary Nick Britton. Legendary particularly because it's a Sunday evening and he's cooked the dinner. So we've got to make sure that this finishes within half an hour. But that should be enough to get everything through, or the turkey's going to burn, or the chicken's going to burn, or whatever's going to burn. Hello, Nick. How are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'm hungry now you're mentioning dinner.
I've had my tea.
There's been some good football this weekend, Ken. There's been some good football. Some interesting football, that's for sure. So we'll have a good rattle. We'll have a good rattle through the weekend's game, shall we?
Yeah, it's been a mixed bag. I thought our predictions looked pretty safe when we made them yesterday morning. They don't look that safe now. There's been some real upsets over the course of the weekend. But let's start with the game that's just finished, which is the Liverpool-Arsenal game. I was listening to it. I didn't watch it. I was listening to the game. It sounded like the two teams were just kind of nullifying themselves. Sounded like a very even game. Then Sloboshai turns up and smashes one in from the free kick. So what was your take on the game?
I thought that Arsenal came for a 0-0. And as a result, the game suffered for a little bit. They didn't come to win this game, Arsenal.
No.
They came to get a point out of it. And they were quite unambitious. They played with a very low block. They invited Liverpool to try and break them down. And then they just tried to play on the break, mostly through Madueke on the right-hand side. Martinez didn't really... Martinelli, apologies. Martinelli didn't really get in the game. Szoboszlai had him pretty much in his pocket. Szoboszlai had a great game, by the way.
He played well.
After the Newcastle game, he had a great game. We'll come on to his goal in just a moment. But on the whole, I'm afraid that Arsenal have paid the price for being way too unambitious. They didn't ever really want to take this game by the scruff of the neck and go on and win it and take the initiative. Most of it was Liverpool with the ball, pushing and pressing and teasing and probing, and to see if they could find a way through. And then by the time they get their way through with 8 minutes or so to go, it's too late. Arsenal then chuck the kitchen sink at it, but Liverpool stand firm. And Arsenal keep doing this. They've got a history of doing this. They go to these big games, they go to these big grounds, and they just don't really look like they believe they can go and win.
It's interesting that they don't really look like champions. Just looking at the three games so far, the Man United win sounds like they were trying to replicate the Man United win. That was a very lacklustre performance, but they walked away with 3 points. They then go and smash Leeds at home, and then they turn up in Liverpool and try a very similar strategy, I think, in relation to the Liverpool game. Didn't really come out of the blocks, didn't really look like they were pushing for the victory. But, you never know. With Liverpool are vulnerable. We were saying this yesterday. I bet they were working on the basis of we'll get a set piece, we'll put them under pressure, and we'll scab a goal.
They had a few corners, and Liverpool dealt expertly with them. They were, the last few minutes was a bit frenetic as they were. I mean, look, Arsenal had 11 shots, only one on target, but they had 11 shots. Most of those were in the last few minutes. It felt like. Yeah. Liverpool, 3 shots on target from 9. It just felt like Liverpool wanted to win the game more than Arsenal, and did. But we ought to talk about the goal because it was something very, very special. I don't think you're going to see a better free kick than that all season. I'll nail my colours to the mast on this straight away. It was absolutely sensational. You're a good 30 yards, I think it's 31, 32 yards out. It had dip, it had swerve. Ryan knew where it was going and he still couldn't get to it. I mean, it was an absolutely brilliant free kick and worthy of winning any game.
Yeah, deserve to win it on that alone. Liverpool keep doing this, don't they? They keep eking out. They get these late winners. It's what champions do, of course, isn't it? Champions always find a way. At the moment, Liverpool are just always finding a way, and they're going into the international break absolutely delighted, imagine, with those 9 points, because there were some difficult games that they had to negotiate to get those 9 points.
They did, and I mean, the front three behind Ekitike, who I thought, again, played pretty well today. The front three was kept quiet by Arsenal. Salah looks off form. His touch has deserted him. It really did. Wirtz was okay. I mean, he wasn't great. Gakpo, I thought was a pick of a bunch. He looked dangerous. He looked good. But Arsenal probably felt they had come and done the job they were doing. So there's only a few minutes to go. It's only 8 minutes to go, and they kind of felt like they were going to hold out because they looked reasonably comfortable defensively. It was just frustrating not to see them go and attack the game a little bit more.
I think Etiquette has been called up to the French squad. By the way, we did the Road to World Cup on France yesterday. Didn't get mentioned in that because he hadn't been called up. He's been called up today to the French squad. So obviously that's a big vote of confidence for him.
Interesting. And it's probably notable to say that Konate went off towards the end of this game and he was walking very, very gingerly. He looked like he had picked up an injury, and I wonder if that hastens Liverpool's chase of Mark Gahey, who's playing right now. Palace and Villa have just kicked off his captain playing, but I wonder if it also adds another 10 million onto the asking price.
Yeah,
it's worth saying that Joe Gomez came on for the last few minutes in place of Konate and played really well. He had
never put the foot wrong though.
But he had two meaningful impacts on the game. But he cleared a header from a dangerous corner. There was a moment where it looked like he was going to give away a penalty on Eze, and he just pulled back and just did enough with a little bit of a nudge to put him off when Gay was in a really dangerous position to shoot. So he did well when he came on, Gomez. But I think once they've assessed the damage on Konate, and they haven't got long because the window closes tomorrow, they're going to be on the phone to Palace pretty quickly.
I think Gahey and Isaac, you add those two players into that team, and we're looking at the champions already, to be honest. I think Gahey will add things to the defence. No question about that. So what's that space? One other thing, just quickly, just to mention, on Arsenal, a couple of things. The injuries keep mounting. Saliba, on top of Odegaard and Saka and all the rest of them.
Well, Odegaard came on.
It's starting to hurt Arsenal, I think. And Arsenal, and they don't look great, Arsenal. They just don't look great anyway.
No, Odegaard came on today. He and Eze came on towards the end of the game. Saliba going off after only 4 minutes is very worrying. And he knew straight away. He was in a challenge, and he knew straight away that he had to come off so early in the game. So that's not a good sign.
Yeah, well, I think it's been a mediocre start for Arsenal. I think they're going to need this international break to kind of regroup and see where they're going. Only 3 points behind, of course, after 3 games, but just on performances, there's something lacking there. And as we know, in football, it pays to get your team selection right. Here at Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery partner, and there was a very clear winner, and that was Zencastr. Zencastr makes it easy to bring your vision to life, share it with your audience. With 4K video recording, very easy AI editing, and the very best distribution tools, and it's all in one place. If you've got a story to tell it with Zencastr. Check the show notes for more details.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Right, part 2 of an action-packed show. We better talk about the games that were played yesterday and earlier today. Let's start with Chelsea. Jalap obviously pulled a hamstring, looked like, so that's going to be a loss for Chelsea. I'm so pleased I've got João Pedro in my fantasy football team, captained, because he keeps doing it. But
I'm so sorry that instead of picking him, I picked Jalap. He's been in my team for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know. You're going to need to make a change on that. But really what I want to talk about in this game, Chelsea, 3 points to Chelsea, fantastic. VAR.
Yeah, absolutely appalling.
That
Appalling decision by the video assistant referee. Yet again, here we go, talking about referees and talking about VAR. And if you haven't seen it, at 0-0, Josh King scored for Fulham. It was a great goal. Lovely, great finish. And Rob Jones, the referee, gave it. He's then instructed by the VAR, Michael Salisbury, to go and have a look at it for a potential foul by Rodrigo Muniz on Trevor Chalobah in the run-up to the goal. And if you look at it properly, Muniz lovely little bit of skill, takes him away from Chalobah. There's a little bit of contact between his boot and Chalobah's in that process, just a bit of contact. The referee let it go. Nobody said a word, blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly the goal is ruled out. It was a dreadful, dreadful decision at a time when the game was still on the
foot, wasn't it? The fact that he put his foot down on top of the
What's
Chelsea
he meant to do? Look at his body movement. Look at his body movement. Look at his natural body movement and what he's doing. Where is he meant to put his foot?
Yeah,
it's just coming together by 2 players challenging for the ball. Anyway, we know we are right because Salisbury got booted off the Arsenal-Liverpool game today. He was due to be VAR of that. The PGMOL, the Professional Game Match Officials Limited, which runs the referees, said that it was a wrong decision, it was a bad decision, and he was removed from the Liverpool-Arsenal game today. So, look, that's little comfort for Marco Silva and Josh King, I am sure. But the other point to note on that is when are referees going to stand up for themselves? When are they going to go look at the monitor and say, no, actually, I disagree with you. I'm going to go with my original decision. I've seen it, but I disagree with you.
You never see that, do you? They generally go with the guidance, don't they?
No, they don't generally go with it. They always go with it. They always go with it. And I know they've got 5 people in the VAR room at Stockley Park all going, you need to look at this, you need to look at this. Therefore, you've got doubt put in your mind. But he's had the opportunity to look at it on the screen. Just grow a pair and say, no, I was right the first time. You guys watching it on telly, fine, but I'm living it in the moment on the pitch with these players. I'm going to give a goal.
I bet the ref is absolutely fuming about that because he gave it.
Yeah, he did the right thing. Rob Jones did the right thing.
Fuming.
Yeah. He's been badly let down by his video assistant, Michael Salisbury, and, well, they may be having a pint together at some stage, but I don't think it'll be very soon.
No, very interesting game. Good 3 points for Chelsea. Chelsea look decent. They look decent without being magnificent.
I don't think. I mean, they look all right. A little bit like Arsenal. You don't really feel they've hit the stride yet.
No, it's an interesting one because apart from Liverpool, it's difficult to see who is. But let's come to a team that is hitting its stride at last. Man United 3, Burnley 2. What a game! I mean, it was a what, wasn't it?
I'm not sure you could say Man United have hit their stride. I think what you could probably say is they've squeaked and squealed their way past Burnley thanks to a 97th minute penalty by Bruno Fernandes. So I don't think that you can say they've hit their stride at all.
I mean, obviously you would have seen the penalty, and as a qualified ref, I always bow to you on these things. That looked a bit outside the box to me. But
no, the rule is, so the foul started outside the box, but the rule is if you are holding somebody or pulling a shirt in this case, and it starts outside the box but continues into the box, it's a penalty, which is why you generally see the attacking player, they don't go down straight away. They try and get into the box first and go down because they're going to get a penalty out of it. So no, that was the correct decision. Tough on Burnley, who you could argue, deserved a point away at Old Trafford, but fair play to Fernandes because the pressure on him there, stepping up, taking that penalty would have been absolutely enormous. And really, I don't know though. I don't know whether that answers any questions on Amorim whatsoever. I don't think we're left any clearer. It's not like they went out
when the penalty was taken.
He doesn't watch him, does he? He doesn't watch penalties ever. I just think it sends out all the wrong.
It's always been an Amorim thing. Did he do that in Portugal?
Yeah, he's never done it. He says I never watched them. I watched the crowd for their reaction. I don't understand that. You're the coach. You're the manager. What signal does it send out to your players? Doesn't make any sense to me at all. Anyway, as I said, it doesn't leave us.
So
it doesn't leave us any further forward, I don't think.
When that game finished, is that a turning point for United, or was it just a relegation dogfight that a team wins by a dodgy goal?
I'll tell you what it'll be. I'll tell you what the turning point. It'll be a turning point for Manchester United because after yet more goalkeeping woes, they can't pick a goal. They can't pick anybody in goal. They have today really reignited their interest in Emilio Martinez from Aston Villa. And if they get Martinez in, that's a game changer. And they were linked very heavily with him at the start of the window.
Really were. And it got very quiet.
And they've looked at one or two other keepers. They know. I mean, there's talk of even putting 39-year-old Tom Heaton in goal. Such as that, because neither goalkeeper can do a job for him. So if the game against Burnley makes them understand that they need a better keeper in, then Martinez would be huge. It'd be a massive signing for them.
Yeah, that would be a big signing. It'll cost them a bit. The Sensational Lamens one from Royal Antwerp seems to have gone a bit quiet. I mean, he's not been playing because everybody's expectation was that he was going to go to Man United, but that itself has gone a bit quiet. Burnley were very slack at the back, I thought, by the way. Man United were very wasteful up front. Bueno scored eventually, but he was pretty wasteful. Man United were very shaky. I mean, the first Burnley goal he was wide open right in the middle of the goal, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, they just don't look any better. They don't show any signs of getting any better. And as I say, this doesn't answer any. I mean, they had to win it. If they lose against Burnley, then Amarin's really walking a tightrope. I don't think
Yeah.
that tightrope's any particular thinner or thicker as a result of this game, other than everybody's a little bit more relieved, I would say.
Okay, moving on. Sunderland Brentford. I think we said a few weeks ago that Sunderland, it's all going to be about the home form. It's all going to be about maxing out the performances at the Stadium of Light. Brentford, we've got our doubts about. I think you had him as one of your relegation candidates. 2-1 for Sunderland in the end. They're going to be delighted with another 3 points.
Yeah, and deservedly so. I mean, it was a very late goal, wasn't it? 97th minute.
Yeah.
Great cross, great header. But Kelleher will not be wanting to watch that again because he should have saved that.
Yeah.
He should have saved that. It's down low to his right, but he gets hands on it, he gets body on it, and it just kind of goes through him a little bit. And I think he should have done much better. I really do. But a fair play to Sunderland. You know, they've stuck at it. They took the game to Brentford, 12 shots, 3 on target, higher XG, higher possession. Looks like the Stadium of Light's going to be a happy hunting ground for them. It might be a bit of a home fortress, which, let's face it, every Premier League team needs if you're going to survive.
No doubt about it. It's going to have a Newcastle feel about it. It's a long way to go for teams. It's a lot of travel. It feels like a different part of the country. It's loud. It's noisy. People are raucous. It's not a pleasant place to go and ply your trade if you're a Brentford fullback. So
it wasn't at the end of it because the TV cameras were panning to fat Sunderland fans with their tops off, and that is not a pleasant sight. I can tell you that. they've nicked that from the Geordies up the road.
That's true. Moving on, then, this was a game. Well, certainly I had as a home banker, the Spurs-Bournemouth game.
Yes.
I really fancied Spurs. I thought Spurs had kind of turned a corner. I thought they were looking really good in the first. I mean, the performance against City was outstanding. And I thought, here we go. Spurs has got a proper team. And then they go and trip up in a game against Bournemouth. They really should have won.
Well, I started the last week's podcast when they beat Man City by saying Spurs are back. Having done all of that and lost to Bournemouth at home in a very insipid display, my reaction is this: Spurs are back, because it's a very Spurs type result, isn't it?
Spursy. Yeah,
very slack, indifferent. Nothing really got going. Bournemouth played very, very well, deserved the win. They were the one with all the chances. To be fair, if it had been 2-0, even 3-0, I don't think anybody would have complained too much. They were much the better team against Tottenham. And Tottenham, I don't know what was all flat about that. I don't know.
Well, it might just been a one-off. We're interested to see what happens when they come back after the international break. But that was a very disappointing performance from Spurs, but a very pleasing performance by Everton. Now, you had this in our predictions that Everton were going to go to Wolves and walk away with the 3 points, and they did. Everton looked like a half-decent team all of a sudden.
Well, Jack Grealish has added a different level to their play.
Difference.
He has made a huge difference. And yet again, he was the star of the show yesterday. That's 3 games now, I think he's played, where he's really lit up the place, playing with a lot of freedom, playing with a smile on his face, being given permission by David Moyes to do what he wants, essentially, in terms of roaming around and getting on the ball and making things happen. And that's just added another dimension to Everton's play. And going to Wolves isn't going to be that hard a job for teams, I don't think, this season. Strand Larsen, interestingly, wasn't playing. Of course, he is the subject of a lot of speculation around moving to Newcastle United. He was injured, and I would wrap quote marks around that and scratch my
Achilles, wasn't it? I mean, no one's going to argue with the Achilles. Oh, he's got an Achilles problem. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Transfer deadline day itis, maybe.
Yeah,
more of a problem for Strand Larsen. He still wants to move to Newcastle. I'm going to mention in a moment Johan Wissa, because an extraordinary story broken about him today. Speaking about people wanting to go to Newcastle. So, yeah, I don't think going to Wolves is that hard. I think Everton are playing well, and I fancied them, and they came through. 3-2, I didn't actually think was a fair reflection of the game. I thought Everton was I thought 3-1 would have been a fair reflection of the game. Wolves did score late to put a bit of jeopardy in there, but they're in a spot of bother, Wolves.
Yeah, they look clueless, don't they, at the moment?
Yeah. And I would have thought last night, Wolves and West Ham are the 2 sort of existing Premier teams. who've really got something to worry about. And then what happens?
We'll come to that, but there's a game I want to talk about before. By the way, just before we move on from Everton, what is it, do you think, that has reignited Jack Grealish's love of football life? Because he looks a different player, completely different player from when he used to trot on very occasionally for Man City.
Well, two things. He is maybe three. He's undoubtedly a player who wants an arm around his shoulder. Yeah, he wants to feel loved. He wants to feel appreciated, and he didn't get any of that at Man City. He was frozen out. He was sidelined. He didn't play. But when he was at Man City, also he played with a straitjacket on, as Man City players have to do. You're told you've got to do this, and if you don't do that, you're out of the team. So he's a really, really creative player, Grealish. He likes to drift around. He likes to do different things, and that doesn't suit Man City's play at all. But it suits Everton's play. And you've got a manager in David Moyes, I think, who will and has put his arm around him, who appreciates the value he brings to Everton. Now, bringing value to Everton is very different to bringing value to Manchester City. So he can bring value to Everton that he can't do to Manchester City because they're not as good a side. And
I think that's true. I mean,
it's a brilliant piece of man management by David Moyes. And that was the third thing I was going to mention. He's a brilliant manager, David Moyes, and he recognises what Grealish can bring to the team, and he's putting that in motion. So you've got a happy manager, happy player.
Yeah, that makes sense. We've seen a lot. We've seen the flair side of Grealish, which I like. He's not overburdened by responsibility, as you quite rightly point out. And I think that's really releasing his joie de vivre again, and that's fantastic. Final game of Saturday was Leeds-Newcastle, team close to your heart. 0-0. Looked like it was going to be 0-0 if they played quite a long time. What was your take on the game?
It was dreadful. It was boring. It was rubbish. Move on. It was a game, frankly, that nothing about it whatsoever. Two teams cancelled each other out. Neither looked like they were going to score. Defences were on top. Game was played in midfield. It was a really boring game.
Yeah.
Sometimes about 0-0s. It was a really exciting game.
I've seen
we've seen some good 0-0s. This was definitely not one of them. So
no, it wasn't. And just kind of reiterates the point, doesn't it? There's a big chunk. There's a big jigsaw piece missing at Newcastle. I think we know where it is. I mean, as we said before, they've got a great midfield, but there's just no threat, no service,
no threat. No threat up top. The new guy, Voltemada, was in the stands before he heads off to international duty. So that's good. He's signed, sealed, and delivered. And I expect by tomorrow they'll have either Strand Larsen or Wissa through the door, one or the other.
Yeah, you don't think both?
I don't think both because I'm not sure. It's a really difficult. No, I don't. I don't think they'll be in the market for both, and they're both going to cost a lot of money because Newcastle are obviously desperate. Brentford are asking far too much for Wissa. Wolves are wanting far too much for Strand Larsen. So if you if you're paying the asking price, you're looking at 120 million quid. Now they might decide that if they can get a deal done early in the morning, for example, that will release Isak to Liverpool. And if it releases Isak to Liverpool, they can afford to go out and buy somebody else.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's a gamble.
They're so denuded of talent up front. I mean, there's nothing, absolutely nothing. If you get these two players because you're getting 130 million from Isak, suddenly you've got a potential to transform your season, particularly with the Champions League. They've got so many opportunities,
and that's fair. And Wissa, don't forget here, you're not playing like for like because Wissa's a very different player to Strand Larsen. Strand Larsen and Voltemada are kind of what I call traditional number 9s, whereas Wissa will play. He'll play left, he'll play right, he'll come in from deep, he'll attack from elsewhere. Now, Voltemada is a sort of player who likes to drop in, to connect the team together, to drop in, receive the ball, and have runners in behind him.
And he's huge, and he's a great target. Great target man.
Yeah, there was a picture on Instagram today. Dan Byrne put on his Instagram feed just saying, "Welcome to the club. You're a tall man." It was great. It was great. The two of them. It was great. Two very tall blokes stood next to each other. It was a great pick.
Those three would transform Newcastle's season. Watch that space. It should be very interesting. Right, I know we're going to move on quickly because dinner is nearly served. Global Sports Podcast Network is partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements, because your body's unique. And without knowing what your body actually needs, if you're taking off-the-shelf supplements, it might mean that you're not getting enough of the nutrients you need and maybe too many of the ones you don't need. So Bioniq provides 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right level. So click on the show notes, use the code GSPN2025. You will get 40% off your first order. Right. We've talked about Liverpool, Arsenal. There's 2 games to go. Brighton against Man City. Who saw this one coming?
I did.
Did you?
I said, I mean, I only went for a draw yesterday. No, I went for a draw. No, don't. You're panicking now, aren't you? You're panicking.
Yeah.
You said it would be the game that Man City rebounded and to get
I
their
thought
season
this was
back.
the get-right game for City. I thought they were going to smash them. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I thought Brighton, if either team was going to win, it'd be Brighton. I never saw Man City winning this at all. I did think it was going to be a draw, but I was being probably a little bit conservative. Brighton were great. They played really well. Man City started well. Good goal from Haaland. Typical kind of goal from Haaland. Touched the ball once, goes in the back of the net. Thanks very much. Bye. It was that, just poacher's goal, stabbed it in from close range.
And at that point, I thought, I'm right. This is going to be 4-0.
It's not like you to think you're right, Ken.
I did for that fleeting moment. I think I've got him here.
But you were wrong.
And then
penalty, and a good finish actually for second goal. It was really good. It was a really good finish. And then Brighton saw the game out, I thought, fairly comfortably. I expected a real Man City onslaught, but it didn't really come. And I thought in the end, Brighton were pretty comfortable in those. I mean, bear in mind the winner came in the 90th minute, but you've got then I think it was 7 minutes of injury time, and I was just expecting the Alamo, but the Alamo never came, and I thought Brighton were pretty comfortable. So well done, Gruder. It was a lovely finish from you to win the game. We're very happy, young man. And of course, James Milner got on the score sheet, aged
71.
He scored in the 67th minute, and that might just be how old he is. But well done, Tom.
Yeah, very much so. But City, everyone thought City are going to big challenges to Liverpool, already 6 points behind after 3 games. I mean, is the word crisis too strong?
No, it's not, because to be fair, Liverpool have won all the games, but nobody's going, they look amazing. Arsenal, we've discussed, haven't really started. Chelsea haven't really started. Man City haven't really. It doesn't feel like the season's getting going for any of these teams yet. So no. Nothing's too late. We're only 3 games in. Crazy.
I know, it's got a very Liverpool-y feel about it, particularly if they get Gahey and Isak. I just don't see anybody getting anywhere close to him at the moment. Right.
No, I'd agree.
There's always one banker game that we can just put your mortgage on, go get or lump it on at William Hill or wherever you go. And that game, of course, is Forest West Ham. It's just how many goals are Forest going to score? How many goals did Forest score? I can't remember.
Well, it's no surprise that I'm recording this from a cardboard box because I put my house on this game. Forest scored none, and West Ham scored 3
in the last 9 minutes.
Yeah. And who thought that was going to happen? And funnily enough, actually, because we live in Derby.
Wood, didn't you? Did you captain Wood in your?
Yeah. No, mate. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. When I sign players or make them captain in my fantasy league team, they either have terrible games or get injured. I'm some sort of curse. So these Premier League players, you better watch out, because if you make your way into my fantasy league team, it's finished. It's all over.
I think we should make you tell everyone what your fantasy football league team is on our Thursday episode. So you can say, okay, don't captain Wood. So
yeah.
Now,
it was a nailed on. I mean, it's a great choice. It was a great choice as captain. But Forest were poor. They never got West Ham. It wasn't like a surprise they won 3-0. Well, maybe it was a surprise they won 3-0. But in the context of the game, they defended stoically. They did what Forest hate. They just sat a low block and said, "Come and break us down." Forest are terrible against teams like that. They rely on teams coming at them. And then hit them on the break. So they want to play in a low block. So in some respects, it was quite a surprise not to see one set of players at one end, the other set of players on the other end, and the ball just sitting in the middle and nobody going to try and kick it, because they both wanted to play the same kind of game. They both wanted the other team to come onto them. West Ham, the onus is obviously on Forest to attack at home, and West Ham dealt with it very, very comfortably. Very comfortably.
we talked about this yesterday, or maybe the day before, about the fact that Marinakis and Nuno are going to have this kind of sit down, this conciliatory meal, Greek probably. But do you reckon Marinakis is going to start throwing the plates halfway through this and start this? What I'm really asking is, do you think this result is just another step in the disintegration of that relationship?
It doesn't. It can't help. It doesn't. I don't think it will have a massive difference. But you know what Marinakis is like? He's so tempestuous, and he will react to a game like this, and he'll look at that and go, "I can't believe we've lost to the team that can't beat anybody, and we've lost 3-0 at home to them." So it might. Common sense would suggest it shouldn't, obviously, because it's a strategic conversation looking at the longer term prospects of the club. But when does that matter to Marinakis? So yeah, I don't. It won't. He would have much preferred going into this on the back of a comfortable victory, but it never happened.
I wish I could to be a fly on the wall.
Oh, absolutely!
On the Athene restaurant in Nottingham or wherever. That would be wonderful. Right, that's it. Thanks, Nick. You go and get the dinner sorted. Thanks to everyone here listening to the Daily Premier League podcast. Thanks for tuning in every day. Really appreciate it. Sorry, Nick.
One more game to go, isn't there? Palace and Villa, they're playing at the moment. 32 minutes gone. It's Aston Villa 0, Crystal Palace 1. Jean-Philippe Mateta scored, and he is in my fantasy league team. So there. He'll get sent off.
I hope he knows he's been stretched off in the 60th minute with a broken leg. Poor
He'll
fella.
score 2 own goals and then end me up with minus points or something.
and sent off. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody. It's available wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe if you will, and then it's delivered straight to your device. So leave us a rating, and if you want to let us know your thoughts, please do. By the way, we're very interested. You can reach us at the Daily Premier League Podcast at gmail.com. Right, thanks, Nick. Go and have your tea. That's been fascinating. Another week of fascinating results. We've got a big, long, just empty 2 weeks of nothing, but we'll fill it with very interesting stuff that's going to happen over the next couple of weeks.
It's transfer deadline day tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's transfer deadline day. It's one of the absolutely key talking points of the season. We're going to feed off that for about 3 or 4 days easily. We're
going to have to. But I think there are going to be some dominoes that fall, aren't there?
Yeah, I think it should be a really interesting day. Often transfer deadline days are a bit dull. I think tomorrow there's lots to happen tomorrow.
Is it just me? Has this been a particularly interesting transfer deadline window? I think it's been fascinating.
It seems to have gone on for a long, long time. But it has been interesting. It's been interesting because Isaac went on strike. That's dominated it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mentioned Wissa earlier on. He's put out a statement today which very much mimics Isaac, saying that essentially I've been let down. I've got promises in writing that I've let go. I want to move to Newcastle. Let me move to Newcastle now. Was the crux of his statement. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Player power. Okay, well, go enjoy your dinner wherever you're having, and we'll catch up again tomorrow. And thanks for listening, everybody. And I hope you enjoy the show. See you soon.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.